Hello everyone, PallyTime here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's video, we are going to be playing as Greymane. Probably one of the best range assassins in the game right now. My problem with Greymane is that I go way too deep, and I try to play him like Illidan after I get his ultimate. After I hit level 10, after I start going for the throat, it's like I have to go in and kill someone if they're low on health. And I'm trying really hard to control myself and not just dive 5 people deep into an enemy team. I'm gonna do a build today that should allow me to just sit a little bit further back and still be able to do a lot of damage and be effective. That's the goal anyway.
Will rise again.
It's my first Greymane video in a while. Maybe I should use the default skin. Yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the Sky Temple today. At level 1, we are going to go for Wolf Heart, which, while Inner Beast is active, each basic attack lowers its cooldown by 1 second. Inner Beast is our W ability, and it just basically increases our attack speed. It's really, really good. But in order to maintain that attack speed increase, we constantly have to be attacking. We actually get a combo meter down here at the left above our character health. Our Q ability while we're in human form is Greymane Cocktail. This changes if we are in our wolf ability. But Greymane Cocktail is a pretty interesting skill, actually. It'll deal some damage to the initial impact, but will then explode behind that target and deal damage to everything behind them as well. I believe the initial impact deals more damage? No. Hurl a Flask, it deals 61 damage to the first enemy hit and then explodes for 245 behind that target. So the idea is we can actually clear minion waves fairly easily with this if we hit, those front minions. We're going to have a hard time versus a Zagara down here. We have no way of actually sustaining ourselves. It's one of the drawbacks to playing as Greymane. You don't have anything to actually keep yourself alive with. No way to regenerate health in any capacity. So I'm just going to ping until someone comes down here, I guess. Chromie did just die up top. The friendly team, Greymane, Asmodeus, Tychus, Falstad, Chromie. The enemy team, Tracer, Kael'thas, Nova, Zagara, Raynor. So we're going to have a fucking hard time. This is going to be a hard game. All right, Asmodeus rotated down. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Let's try to get this Hydralisk off of me. And our E ability is called Dark Flight or Disengage, depending on whether or not we're in human or Worgen form. Dark Flight allows us to jump to a target, like this Kael'thas here, if we wanted to engage on him, and then we will turn into a Worgen, and all of our abilities basically change. Our Q ability, instead of being a cocktail when we're in Worgen form, is just a very small dash forward. Is it only Kael'thas here? No, Kael'thas and Nova. Nova's just above me here. And I can't do anything to actually bring her out of stealth, so we're going to have to wait for a higher health target to move in there. Looks like the friendly team's holding down top just fine. We do want to engage here. This is a good kill opportunity. But now we need to back up to safety. That's not a decoy. Holy shit. All right, that's a dead Nova. Can we keep this going? I think we can. We have Cocktail ready, but it's not going to deal any bonus damage to anyone. All right, at level 4, we are going to go for Eyes in the Dark. So whenever we're in our Worgen form and then we disengage, it's going to just grant us a little bit of stealth. Pretty good for getting away from targets that are trying to kill you. Jim Raynor back on the point. I think we can re-engage on him and we'll be okay. Oh, especially with Tychus here. In fact, I'm just going to let Tychus do Tychus things. And I'll just try to stay on point here. We want Kael'thas to use his gravity lapse and then we can engage, but Nova is also here for the enemy team, so we just need to back up. And you'll notice the concept that I'm trying to convey the most in this video is that I need to be playing Greymane much more careful than I have been in the past. Because he's just a fantastic pick in Hero League right now, but my issue is that I just go in and die a lot. I don't position correctly for him. And I feel like he's a character that is played like a light switch. Once it's time to go in, you flip that switch and there's no going back. You know, okay, I guess you could, maybe that's not the best analogy because you can't turn off lights. But the idea is that, you're going around doing your daily business until you need a light turned on. And then you flip that switch and that light is on. And that means go. Green means go, and you engage super hard. In between, though, I've had a really hard time actually just applying damage to the enemy team. Because I usually go for talents that enhance my wolf form, my Worgen form. And I just don't think that's the right way to go. So I'm going to go for talents that increase my human basic attack range. And then as we get into the late game, I'm going to go for talents that further incentivize me to stay in that human form and deal damage up until the point that it's time to go in and kill someone. That's the plan. You know, we're in one of those matches where there's a million assassins and, you know, we don't really know how this is actually going to play out. But that's the idea. See, I would always go for Wizened Duelist because it was just fun. But I think Quicksilver Bullets, increasing my human attack range here, is going to be the way to go. Especially versus a Zagara that could poke me down really, really easy. We'll go ahead and Sippy Cup. And again, I still can't do anything versus this Zagara. People keep coming down here and then immediately leaving. I guess they think I'm okay. Not okay at all. I can't do anything to push her back here. Just not my forte in the slightest. In fact, if I'm not in wolf form, I can't even clear the creep. So I'm going to need some help doing that too. And of course, the friendly team, because this is a team deathmatch game, because we have a lot of assassins, is just going after kills, not currently soaking mid. So, bit of a frustrating match to try to test this shit out in. But, you know, I have to get ready for Hero League somehow. I don't think my Greymane is really good enough to carry a match yet. And this is how I have to train. I guess we could do unranked draft. That could definitely be a thing. Maybe that would be a better idea. But then there's no guarantee that I get Greymane. There's always downsides to everything, right? I'm too far away to engage on that, so I'm just going to focus on clearing the minion wave, trying to get this ready for the team to move in, and getting rid of as much creep as I can now that I am in this Worgen form. I don't really think I should be the one to tank this. We need our team here. We definitely need our team here. We're about to hit level 9. We're going to be getting some XP off of these buildings that are going to die. I'm not going to use any mana here to stay, because I don't have much left, and I need to make sure that I can still disengage. Tychus has rotated down and was able to secure a kill there. But as you can see, I took one step too far, and I was punished really, really hard for it. The good news is I was in wolf form there, and I was able to then use our talent that we got at level 4 to disengage in stealth, and I was able to make it out. But there's just such a fine line when playing Greymane of you need to go in and you need to deal damage because that's your job. And I've been in a position where I haven't been able to poke a Zagara this whole match, which is why my damage is so shit. But you need to go in and you need to deal damage. But you also need to ride that fine line of don't go in too far, because if you do, you're just going to die. Looks like we're giving up bottom, and I'm just gonna focus on pushing mid as hard as I can. If we're going to push at all, we need to be in Worgen form for the disengage, and we are gonna pick up Go for the Throat here, which should allow me to assassinate a target fairly easily. We do see the majority of the enemy team down in the bottom lane. We don't have that big of a minion wave with me here though, so I'm not gonna pop any of my abilities to increase my damage. I like using the attack speed increase, or W. I like using it a lot, but it's important you make sure you use it in a situation where you can actually continue to deal that damage, or at least I think it's important. I'm probably not the best person to get Greymane advice from, if we're just being totally honest for a second, but I'll go ahead and jump in there and kill off that building. As you can see, I used my attack speed increase there, and now it's just on cooldown because I didn't get any further auto attacks in. Tracer can still chase me down pretty well here. I don't know, maybe we got this. Go for the throat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it, boys. Dude, you hit so hard in Worgen form. So crazy hard in Worgen form. That's why it's so tempting for me in big team fight scenarios to just kind of jump in and try to kill people off as fast as I can. But that gets me killed more than anything else. I think the fight I chose to engage on there was a good engage. We got out of that real quick. And we killed Tracer before she could even react to it. Now, Greymane is pretty decent at taking camps, just because he can kill the camps so quickly with that attack speed increase. So we want to dive in here with Worgen form, and then we're just going to try to auto-attack as much as possible. And as you can see, this stuff dies pretty quick. We're not going to take too much damage. We should be able to get a regen globe and, yeah, be back at almost full HP. The enemy team is here engaging really hard, and I don't really have a disengage in this particular scenario because I wasn't in Worgen form already and didn't actually notice the engage in time. So that just shows how fragile Greymane can actually be and why he's such a hard character to play. Now, once you can play him at a high level, I think he's one of the best ranged assassins in the game right now. That triple tap, though. That triple tap on Falstad into the maw, though. That has to feel bad. We are going to go for on the prowl. Inner Beast increases movement speed. This is going to allow us to not only stick to our targets a little bit easier when we are in human form, and in Worgen form for that matter, but in human form, and it's going to allow us to disengage a bit harder as well. Disengage, not the ability, but the act of running away from something trying to kill us. And that's important because running wild does increase the range of our E pretty substantially, but that doesn't really increase our sustain damage potential. It just kind of increases our ability to run away from something if we perceive it as a threat. And I engage way too hard here, and we're just going to die, but I'll try to go for the throat before that happens and just delete that kill thoughts from the game. That's a situation where I know I fucked up, and you just try to make the best out of it. Again, this is a pretty fucking hard match to learn Greymane in, just because there's so much damage. You know, normally there would be a tank and a support in Hero League on the enemy team, which means at least 2 members aren't trying to kill you at all times. In most scenarios, anyway. The temples are active again. It looks like we're going to be pushing for the top temple. I hope we can get it. We have a lot of people up there. I'm going to go ahead and ping it for assistance because we're just giving the enemy team more time to respawn. Falstad choosing not to back up our team, but instead go to bottom to 1v1 a Zagara. Probably not going to go well for him if I had to guess. But we are now channeling top, and that's going to start to do damage to the middle tower and fort. I am curious to see how bot plays out. Pretty curious. Our ultimate, go for the throat, is almost off cooldown again, so we just want to poke at these guys. Try not to overextend too much. I wonder if he knows people can soak that for him. Kind of didn't look like it. All right, we have 10 seconds on that. I'm going to go ahead and jump into wolf form and start to push this lane down. We do more auto attack damage in wolf form, and that's kind of the draw of it, right? I mean, you deal a significant amount of auto attack damage in wolf form. But you're a lot safer in human form. I feel like I feel like Greymane, just in general, is the perfect balance of risk versus reward, no matter what you're doing. No matter which ult you go for, no matter what your build is, you're basically deciding whether or not you want to increase your damage potential or increase your survivability. It's the risk versus reward. It's hard. He's a hard character to learn. We are going to go for me anyway. He's our character for me anyway. We are going to go for, I would normally go for Executioner here in a normal game. But we're not in a normal game. So maybe higher attack speed? Eager Wolf, I think. That'll increase our pushing potential and our damage and wolf form potential. So I think I'm happy with that. Tracer engaging kind of hard on our Chromie. We should be able to back her up, no problem. And I want to clear out the rest of this creep with my Q ability real quick. Just reduce the amount of vision that they have. Now that we have a second to breathe, I can go and take this mercenary camp here. This is one of those things where we can get vision with our Q and then hop over the wall. So, you know, that's a thing you can do. And I suppose having the talent to increase your E ability would increase your chances of, you know, getting away in scenarios like that. Where you can jump over a wall to a minion, but I don't think that's that reliable. I know I pick up the talent on Kerrigan. I think it's a bit better on Kerrigan, though. Let's see. What can we do on the map? Not much, to be honest. This Kel'Thas is completely out of position, so we can kill him really quick. Now we can rotate down and try to deal some damage to probably this Nova. We have her in kill range for Chromie. Beautiful. All right, so that was a good engage. Now, he does have some fucked up burst damage. Like, you saw how fast those guys were dying. That is some messed up burst damage. Let's engage here. We're in wolf form. We want to chase as hard as we can, but it looks like he's going to die before we really get an opportunity to. I wish we had a little bit more minions here. Azmodan should be able to spawn some, and then we can push in really hard in middle. At least get the wall down. The wall's the most important thing to kill because it means we get more value out of the objectives. If the towers aren't there for the objective to focus, then it's going to go straight for the building that'll spawn those catapults, which is really, really good. While we have a second to breathe, I'm going to move down here and take this mercenary camp over. Again, increasing our attack speed. We'll start to hit very, very quickly, and we should be able to burst this down no problem. Look at that, 400 damage every single auto attack there. That's actually crazy. The enemy team is going to be respawning very soon. Actually, 2 of them are going to be dead for the first few seconds of this tribute, or this this channel, this tower, the spider butt, this coin, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. I think we should just call everything coins, even if we can't pick them up, because Blackheart's Bay is the best map. We should be able to kill this Zagara here, give vision, go for the throat, and then swap over to this Rainer. And then, where's Nova? Nova died. Okay, so that went well. But again, that's not a normal scenario that we would really find Greymane in, is it? I don't know. I'm starting to think this isn't good practice. I'm starting to think that I'm just going to have to do a trial by fire in Hero League. But I think the mentality switch that I've come to, where I need to be significantly more careful, is a good mentality switch. We are going to go, excuse me, for Hunter's Blunderbuss here. This is actually going to make our auto attack in human form work a lot like our Q ability. So anything behind our initial target, you can see the attack is going to cleave. Not to all targets, just targets behind our initial target, which is just how the cocktail works. So we should be able to do a lot of damage to enemies at long range. And yeah, let's leave. We'll just hop in stealth, disengage. Should allow us to do more damage to targets at range. And remember, we picked up the talent at... Oh, they're still chasing me. Okay. We picked up the talent at level 7 to increase our auto attack range in human form by 20%. So we were kind of building for this from the very beginning, and I think it's pretty good. I think this is a pretty good build. I think Executioner would be a better talent in most scenarios at level 16, but we didn't really have the team comp for that. Wow, we just wiped the whole team. Wow. What, want a boss? I can't tank the boss or anything, but yeah, we could probably kill it. And not everyone's engaging on this. So we could finish, but this is more fun. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we could finish too. But when you don't have a healer or a tank, engaging on a core becomes a lot more sketchy. I mean, a lot more sketchy. So that's kind of... In most situations, I would say go for the core. But in this situation, I think boss is the better play. And then that will go for the core, and we kind of push in with it. As you can see, I haven't really dealt a lot of damage. But when we go in on these fights, you'll notice that throughout this whole video, I've been able to burst targets down really quick. So I don't know if that's good or not. I mean, I've been doing other things on the map. Maybe I should just be focusing on team fights a bit more. I don't really know. Missed. Damn. Wonder if she'll engage on me and try to triple tap me. Who wins in a race between a Greymane and a triple tap Nova? Are we about to find out? I would love to find out. Please, let me find out. Oh, look at that cocktail just spinning in the air. Anyway, I've noticed that I'm lacking in my Greymane ability in Hero League. He's a fantastic character to pick up, and this was just me in my first steps to try to better myself in today's current meta and learn the character. Like, if you can get a Greymane and a Li Ming on your team, go for the throat by itself is just incredible in that situation. Giving Li Ming resets with that massive amount of burst damage that he has is so good. But I think it's important to remember that while you do have some of the best burst damage in the entire game, it's important to remember that this doesn't mean you should dive really hard to get kills. Because I end up playing this guy like Illidan a lot, and then I just die. But the talents we went for in today's video, Wolfheart at level 1. Then we went for Eyes in the Dark level 4. Quicksilver Bullets level 7. Go for the Throat level 10. Then I think we went for On the Prowl at 13. Then Eager Wolf at 16. I did want to go for Executioner. I just want to make that very clear. This is huge. If you have a Murden on your team that is just always doing some type of CC to the enemy, holy shit, this is a gigantic damage increase. And then I did go for Hunter's Blunderbuss at level 20. I think maybe with a Li Ming on our team, though, I would have gone for Unleashed. Hard to say. Hard to say. There are some talent variations that you can do for Greymane, but I think this is probably one of the best talent builds you can do right now. Trust me, I'm a fan of jumping in Worgen form with Wizened Duelist, Alpha Killer, and Tooth and Claw. I love it. It's so much fun. but you're just going to die a lot. And you don't have the mobility of a character like Illidan to kind of disengage from stuff. You're kind of committed when you go in. But anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll be back very soon with more Heroes of the Storm.